Hey all, it's Linda. Welcome back to my channel. You are here with me this morning with 10 pounds of dry shampoo. This is going to be the next video in my declutter series, and this is the big one that I'm nervous about. So this is where I'm going to declutter eyeshadow palettes. I've mentioned this in the last 57 videos, but I am going to be moving within the next few months, and I'm really trying to pare down my collection. But just in general, since I'm doing a low buy year and trying to just appreciate everything that's in my collection, have this curated collection where I love every single piece of it, I really just don't want to keep it all at this point. I want my collection to be something that makes me like giddy inside. So the reason that I don't know if I want to say nervous about this one. I'm nervous I'm not going to get rid of enough. Now, when I say that, I know a lot of you come in and you're like, oh, you don't have to get rid of a lot for a video. It's not just for a video, it's for me. Like, I want to get rid of stuff that is no longer serving me. And it could serve somebody else so much better, right? So sometimes I like to sell things on my Mercari page if they are very lightly used, but most of the time I give these away to friends and family, and I love seeing them happy with it. So I really want to give away stuff. I really want to declutter. I'll admit that right now I don't know how many eyeshadow palettes I have, and that's kind of scary for me to say. And even though I just recently did a makeup inventory, I've definitely gotten more palettes since then. I mean, as of right now, I even have one palette on its way to me. So I really, really love eyeshadow palettes, but I know I need to pare these down. So what we're gonna do, we are going to look at every single eyeshadow palette in my collection, and there are quite a few, and I'm gonna let you know whether or not I plan on keeping it. I also wanna show you where I currently keep my eyeshadow palettes so you can see what I'm working with. I know I don't usually show my storage, but that's because it's kind of a mess and it's not very impressive, if you will, but I do wanna show you so you can see especially why I want to declutter. So we're going to get right into this, but I will say, if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Linda. I'm a cruelty-free beauty YouTuber. I always want to help you decide whether or not makeup, skincare, hair care is worth your money, whether it's drugstore priced or luxury high-end. I just want you to spend your money wisely, but also I'm doing a low buy for the very first time this year in 2022. So I'm decluttering a lot of my collection. I'm trying to really curate my collection, only bring new stuff in that sparks joy or that fills a void in my collection. I still love trying new makeup. I still love playing with new makeup, but I want to just make sure that if it's in my collection, it's something I know I'm going to use, something that's going to spark joy, something that's not just collecting for collection's sake. So if you're into that, as you're watching, I would love if you'd subscribe, become a part of the Rockstar fam. There will be a few more declutters past here. This is going to be the biggest one though. And again, I'm a little nervous about it. I really want to get rid of stuff. I'm worried I'm not going to be able to get rid of a whole lot, but we're going to see. First, I'm going to show you my storage, and then we're going to get into this declutter. So of course I didn't realize how dirty the front of these drawers were until I started filming, because to me they look clean, and then on this camera they look like I'm a disgusting human. And there's Heather Austin. Hi Heather. But this is where I keep all of my makeup, and my palettes are in these two drawers, and you will see they are full to the brim. Like, I can't fit any more palettes in here. This one is even more full. Like, I'm jamming stuff in here at this point. Like, I guess I could fit something else right here, but for the most part, these are so jammed in that a lot of times they will even get stuck and fall behind. So some of this has to go, and I need to clean these drawers. All right, I don't know exactly what order I'm going to do this in. This might be no order at all, but we're going to go through each and every one of these palettes. I'm really going to try to be not necessarily like ruthless, but I want to get rid of some. So let's do this. Piper. All right, let's start with kind of my smaller palettes, if you will. So I do have some additional ones that are small as well, but these are my little baby ones. And oh gosh, this is going to be really difficult, but let's go ahead and start with these three. So these are the Kaja Bentos, and they are 3 different shadows in one. This is kind of a warm matte one. I've used this one a lot. This one is Velvet Dream. Right now, this is a keep. I think I can get rid of this one though. Maybe, let's see. So this one is Neutral Moment. So we've got a very neutral light color on top, a mid-tone neutral, maybe a satin finish. And then I think this is sparkly. No, this is also matte. So this one I can let go. This one I think is the sparkly one, Smolder Season. Yeah, look at that glitter on top. These are so metallic and beautiful. We've got a glittery one there as well. And then on the bottom, this one is actually a matte, but I'm gonna keep this one and I can get rid of the other one. The Viva Shine by Kaja, like look how cute that little lid is. I'm going to be keeping this. This on top, so this is more of like a highlighter palette, but I use this for eyeshadows. So that's very glittery there. And then we've got this one, which I love as an eyeshadow. I know it's supposed to be a highlight, and this one would maybe be a highlight on very deep skin, but on me, it is a bright, vibrant golden eyeshadow. This is a keep. Delightful click noise. Oh gosh, these are going to be difficult, my Natasha Denona. So I'm absolutely keeping this. This is the mini nude palette. This is a go-to travel palette for me. It's very easy to work with. Just, I can do a bunch of looks. I can do something very dramatic, or I can do something very neutral. This is staying. I think I can let this one go. Is this the Ayana? Yeah, this is the Ayana palette. So it's really beautiful, but it's just more cool toned than I usually use. You can tell it's barely touched. It's so, so lovely, but I think this one can go to a better home. And this one, gosh, I'm so torn. What's this one called? This is the Peak palette. Oh gosh, you know what? I'm gonna let this go. I am surprising myself, but I'm gonna let this go because I have palettes with these colors that I like more. Like this pinky, I don't ever use. This burnt orange is really pretty, but I just don't pull out this palette for it. The sparkle is pretty. I have a million colors like these two. I think I'm gonna let this one go. Wow, okay. You know what? I'm doing better than I thought. This one's gonna go. This is absolutely staying. This is the e.l.f. Hot Jalapeno palette. These are from the Bite Size. You can tell, looks like I took a bite. I swear I did not, but this is just an amazing green gold palette, and this is $3. If you like greens and golds, I would highly suggest you buy this one. I love it. This one, let's see. No, I'm keeping this. This is the It's Likely Makeup Ugly palette. I love this. This is such a unique take on a rainbow palette, and I'm so madly in love. The quality is so good. This is a keep. Here's another I can get rid of, I think, because I kept this in the last declutter because it's so beautiful and the quality is really shockingly good. But I have so many palettes like this, and since the last declutter, I have not reached for this once, so this can go. This is staying. So this is the Give Me Glow Juicy Olive palette. It is a grungy olive dream. The pans are huge. Like you can see, these are like $50 sizes if you're in the US. I love this palette. This is staying. I'm pretty sure all 4 of these are going to stay, but let's go ahead and look. So this is 100% staying. This is my Shroud It's Freaking Bats palette, their collaboration with Betty Bean. I adore this. Adore. And let's just say this is going to go very well with the palette I talked about that I have coming soon. This is also going to stay. This is one of the only ColourPop palettes I still have left. This is the Raw Beauty Kristi and ColourPop at Forest Sight palette. Really, I just love this color story. And I think that this is my favorite quality ColourPop palette I've ever used. I love it. This color story is just so dreamy. These deep, dark tones. This is a keep. And I don't know why I keep some of these in the boxes and some of them I don't. This one is also going to stay. I don't personally use Juvia's Place that much anymore, but this palette is such a good neutral dream for me. A warm-toned, bronzy, neutral dream. I know a lot of people prefer cool tones. This is a great color story for me. You can tell how much I love that color. I don't know if you can tell the dip that's in this specific color. Like, I use the heck out of this L shape right here. I take this on a lot of trips with me. This is going to stay. And then I'm torn on this one, the Nomad Venice Simplon Express. You know what? I love this palette. I'm going to let it go. I think that I don't reach for it enough, and there are others who can get more use out of it. Oh, it's so beautiful though. That gold is insane, but we're going to let it go. So I am letting go of 5 palettes already. Good start, Linda. Good job. All right, let's go into my melt palettes. Now, I'll be honest, I'm getting rid of almost nothing here. Almost nothing, because I love melt so much. They're one of my favorite formulas of all time, and I do see melt as a collection for me. I love all of these. I will show you them briefly. I am going to get rid of one though. So go ahead, stop right now, put your guess in the comments which one of these I'm going to get rid of, because I'm curious to hear your thoughts. But here we go. Let's start with the Vita palette. This is going nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere. I love this color story. This is a keep. The Mary Jane palette. This one was so divisive and so many people didn't like it. I love this palette. This is my idea of a cool tone dream palette. I love the sparkles. I know a lot of people had trouble with this one. I did not. So this is a keep. The Rust palette is also a keep. I use the hell out of this one. I don't know if you can tell how well it's loved. This, again, is one of those neutral bronzy palettes, and I know I have 84 of them, but the quality is amazing. This is a keep. We have Smoke Sessions. Guess what? This is a keep. I haven't used this one much, I'm not going to lie, but I want to be able to see this more. I feel like this constantly gets buried in the bottom of my collection, whereas it's such a beautiful palette. So keep. Okay, let's go over the original Gemini palette. Oh wait, do you see that I have two? This one is brand new and has never been touched. Now here's why. With my original Gemini palette, let me show it to you gently, a bunch of shades in it broke and fell out. I had to repress a few, and then this one completely fell out. When I emailed Melt about it, they sent me this brand new palette, which is beautiful, right? But look, I also have the new version of Gemini, which is so good that guess what? This original Gemini palette that is still brand new in the box, I am going to let go. And I'm surprising myself because Gemini is my favorite palette of all time. I don't need 3 of them. So this one is definitely going to go on my Mercari page because it's brand new, never touched. But I love it. This, go to a good home, be free. But that means these 2 are staying. This one is the Gemini 2. And this, I will admit, I don't use this often, but it's still staying because it just is so beautiful to me. This is something I'm keeping not just as a collector's piece, but I do use it and I love it. I just wish I used it more. I'm not a huge pink fan, but it's so beautiful that, no, it's staying. And I already spoiled it and told you which one I was giving up, so you know it's none of these 3, but let's look at them anyway because we like looking at eyeshadow palettes. This is the Melt and Beetlejuice Waiting Room palette. This is all deep reds and grays and silvers, and it's delicious. This wound up being one of my favorite palettes of the year when it came out. This is a definite keep. This is also definitely a keep. So this is the Recently Deceased palette, also from the Beetlejuice collection. And this is all lime green and purple and that shimmery dark green, which is so delicious. This is a keep. And then finally, probably tied with Anastasia's Subculture palette, is one of the most hated palettes of all time, but I love it. The Melt 420. That is my grungy fall dream right there. And this palette, a lot of people said the quality was bad. I feel like this just takes more patience and then you can get a bomb look out of it. This is a keep. So yes, this is the only Melt palette I'm getting rid of. This will go to a good home. I started off pretty great and we're slipping a bit. Let's get rid of some more. We've got to. All right, so here another mix of things, but I can see some that we're going to get rid of. You know what? Let's talk about what are we going to keep? We are going to keep this. So this is the OG Naked palette, and I probably shouldn't still use this, but I do. This is the old one, and to be honest, this is also a very sentimental value piece for me, so this is a keep. Here's one that I'm going to let go. So this is the Naked Heat palette, which I love. I really do, but if I'm being honest, I don't reach for it as much as I used to. I used to use the heck out of this. I don't know if you can tell, but this color Sauced is like such a deep dip, and also He Devil is a deep dip. But like, I just feel like this could go to somebody who will love it more. It's such a beautiful palette. The quality is amazing, but I want these pieces to go to people who will appreciate them more, so this is gonna go. This one is not going to go at all. This is the Urban Decay Naked Mini Sin palette. Love this little buddy. I didn't think I would love it, and I got it this year and I'm in love with it. I use it really often. This color Boring it's actually called Boring, is one of my most used shades. Love this. This is staying. This is also going to stay. I've talked about this a lot, but this is the Naked Honey palette. It's so beautiful. This is like a gold dream. This is just, oh God, I love it so much. I know that I've talked a lot of people into buying this, which is probably one of my proudest moments because I feel like everyone who gets this loves it. This is staying. Oh gosh, the Naked Cyber palette. So here's the thing about this. I enjoyed playing with this. I really did. I've played with this a bunch of times, but I just don't use it enough. Again, I just don't use it enough for it to be continually taking up space in my collection. So, oh, this is going to go. This is going to go. And this is one that is going. By the way, this palette will be going to family or friends because I did kindly receive this in PR, and I don't sell anything that I receive in PR ever, but this is going to go. Hell no is this going anywhere. This is my Kaleidos Flower Punk palette. I love this palette. Oh, look at this dreamy color story. This is the epitome of flower punk. I love this. This is staying. And I recently had somebody tell me that they thought the quality of this was horrible. Has that happened to anybody else? Because I feel like the quality of this palette is beautifully brilliant. So I'm curious. Let me know. I have two Ofra palettes here. So we have the Samantha March Life's a Draft palette, and we also have the Good to Go Mini Mix palette. Oh, you know what? I'm going to let this one go. This is the Samantha March palette, and it's so beautiful. But again, I just don't use it as much as I need to because of these beautiful cool tone mauve purples, which is so Samantha, and I'm so glad that she made this. But I think that I have a friend in mind that this would go to who would rock this. So I'm going to let this one go. And this one, oh, I'm so torn. I'm going to keep this for now. It might not make a next declutter, but I want to keep it just because, well, do I want to keep this? I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go because I really just haven't used it enough. And why keep it if I'm not going to use it? That's going to go. That's a hard one for me. This one is going to stay. This is a beautiful rainbow palette by Colored Rain. This is the Vivid Pigments palette. I don't even need to say anymore. This is just staying. And this one, oh gosh, this is one of those palettes that I always like, oh, this one's getting decluttered, and then I open it and I change my mind because it's really beautiful. Let's see. You know what, this can go. I'm going to let this one go. This is an all shimmer palette with like 3 mattes, only 3, and it's really beautiful. The quality is so good, the Tardis Pro Remix, but I don't use it enough. And this is a really thick, chunky palette that I would prefer to not be taking up space in the drawer. So there we go. That's 5 more palettes gone. I just dropped the Ofra palette and it went everywhere. What are the chances it's broken? You guys, nothing broke. Every single pan came out, nothing broke. Yes. All right, let's talk about this handful. Wait a minute, are these all indie palettes? Okay, well, one of them isn't. Let's start with that. So this is the Dose of Colors I Love Sarah E palette. I'm going to let this go. I love the quality of this, and it has survived many declutters, but at this point I am not reaching for it. I am not reaching for it, so this one's going to go. I can see another one that's going to go right off the bat, and that is this one. So this is the Nomad Fête de Provence palette, and it is so beautiful. The reason I'm giving this one up is because I know that I have friends who will get more use out of this than I have been. The colors of this are quite muted, and I think this makes it a very beginner-friendly palette, but I think the color story is just not as much for me as I'd like to be. So as much as I want to keep it for collection purposes, I would rather this go to somebody who will love it, so this is going to go. This is absolutely staying. This is the Nomad Monteverde Cloud Forest palette. Oh my God, look at it. Do you want to just keep looking at it? Because I do. This is just dreamy tropical colors. The sparkles, the shimmers are just quality. This is staying. I love this packaging. This one is also This one is also staying, so this is the Paradise Islands palette. Again, just these bright tropical colors that make me so, so, so happy. This color Ocean is one of my favorites. I also really love Moon and Fish. I love the sparkles. Nomad sparkles are like none other. This is staying. I have to say, I almost wish I didn't like these so much because they're very, very large, very like the size of my forearm. But I really love these. This one, let me think about this. So this is the Whistler Snow Lodge palette by Nomad as well. And this is very cool tone blues with like the log cabin feel and the fiery feel, like the fire in the log cabin. I'm torn. You know what? I was literally just about to say, I'm going to keep it just for this color Snowmad because I don't have a deep, dark matte blue. But I feel like it's silly to keep an entire palette for one color, whereas I could find a single eyeshadow by another brand and just get that. So if you know of a single eyeshadow in a deep matte navy blue, please let me know, but I'm gonna let this one go. I'm surprised at myself because I really liked it and the quality is great, but I'm gonna let it go. This is not going anywhere. This is the Odin's Eye and Angelica Nikvest palette. Oh, I've used this so much. Look how dirty it is. I'm so sorry. But like the mossy greens with the deep dark colors over here, I adore this palette. It's so good. This is a keep. And while we're at it, we might as well talk about the other collab that Angelica did. This is the Club Nebula palette with Kaleidos. Oh, I love this color story. It makes me so, so, so happy. You've got cool tones, you've got warm tones, you've got shimmers, you've got gravity, which is just chef's kiss. It's beautiful. I admit, like, I don't love how thick these are as well. As much as I love Kaleidos, I prefer the thinner palettes, but this is definitely a keep. And here are two of my newest palettes. They are both going to be a keep. This is the Michaela and Glamlight palette. I have been using the heck out of this. It is so beautiful. These jewel tones are stunning. Absolutely stunning. This is staying. I love this palette staying. And then finally, one of my newest palettes, the Kaleidos Escape Pod palette. I've only used this like twice at this point, so this is definitely staying. I want to play with this more. Sorry, my camera overheated, but yes, I do want to play with this more. I love this green. This one is staying. All right, so we have a mishmash here. Let's grab the ones I'm keeping. Like, you can pry this out of my cold dead hands. This is my Adept and Heather Austin palette. And yes, Heather is a good friend of mine, but at the same time, even if she wasn't, I would love this palette. I don't know if you can tell how much I've dipped into scrubs at this point. And also Austin, I've dipped into this palette so much. Atlas, I am going to pan to the bottom. I can already tell I have a hair on it, but yes, I love this palette. This is a keep. This one I'm not sure about. So Adept was kind enough to send this one to me and the quality is beautiful. So beautiful, but I think the color story just isn't for me. Yeah, I think it's just not for me. I try to love cool tones and I do love some of them, but this one I think can go to a friend. And are these all staying? I think these might all be staying. So I forgot to put this with the rest of the melt palettes, but my Amor y Mariposas palette, this is staying. Oh, God, it's so beautiful. I actually love how small the shadows are, so I feel like it's not overwhelming. This I voted as my favorite palette of the year it came out. It makes me feel inspired. I just think it's so beautiful to look at. This is a keep. Let's slide another one in here while we're here, but I'm gonna stick with this. So all my Natasha Denona palettes right here are staying. We have the unfortunately discontinued gold palette. This is what I used today. I am so happy I bought this before it was discontinued. I love this so much. The quality is Natasha Denona quality, so it's amazing. I don't think I've touched that color once though. There we go. There's my challenge. Or this. Maybe I need to do a smoky blue eye with those. Ooh. Okay. Now I'm all inspired again. And I've talked about this a lot. This is one of my favorite palettes I own as well. The Midi palette, the Bronze palette. I love a warm toned dream, and this is for me. I use this palette so often. This is another travel palette. You can do so many looks with this. You can take it really deep and smoky. You can go very light and gold. Love. And then finally, the palette I can't go 5 minutes without talking about, the Sunset palette. Still one of my all-time favorites. very little makes me happier than this palette. Like very little in the world. I hate everything. No, very little in the makeup world. I love this color story. This will never leave me in a declutter ever. And then we've got these two. Let's take a look. So the Venice Fling Bailey Saria and Estate palette. Oh, let's look. Crap, I don't know. So my problem with this is this middle row I love, 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 love. But I think that's all I really use in this palette like on a regular basis. So, oh, I think I'm going to let this one go. And I love it so much. This one, damn it, do I want to let this go? I'm going to do it. I'm going to let it go. Oh. And this one, the ColourPop Kathleen Light So Jaded palette. Let's look. What do I do, you guys? I'm gonna let this palette go. How am I saying that out loud? But I am. I'm gonna let it go because I don't use it enough. No, you know what? I'm not, because look, we have a dark navy blue. We have this turquoise, which I don't have in my collection. I don't have, you know what? No, sorry. It's surviving another declutter. This might go the next declutter. I keep saying that because I feel like each time I almost declutter this, but this is staying. This is the last of it. Okay. And I can see that some of it's going to go. So this one is definitely going to go. This is the Defiance Carmella Cosmetics palette, and it's really, really lovely. The quality was great. I got this, I believe, in an Ipsy bag, but I've used it like twice. This is going to go, not because it's bad, but just I just haven't used it. This is staying. This is the only Charlotte Tilbury eye product that I have, and this is the Smoky Eyes Are Forever palette. I believe it's been discontinued, but this color story, I love how you can get separate looks with each of these like trios, and the quality is so good. This is staying. Look at the packaging too. Isn't that lovely? This is going to stay. This is my Sugar Pill Pro palette. You can see that I've definitely panned at least one shade. I've almost hit pan on the yellow, which is Butter Cupcake as well. This is just staying because it is. I love this for whenever I need a rainbow matte color. I reach for this. Oh gosh, this one, is this gonna stay? You know what? I love this, but it's gonna go. It's gonna go because I haven't reached for it. And I have colors that I like more. The quality, I like them better. The Wahala 2 palette by Juvia's Place. I'm going to let that go. Here is another keep. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea finger paints. Look at that. Oh, God. So beautiful. I wish I could find this for you all because this is so amazing. These are so emollient, almost like cream shadows. And then you've got these glitters. Oh, love it. Staying. So these two are brand new. These are my Kaleidos quads with the Night of Creation set that isn't even out yet. If you watched my review, you know these are staying. They are so good. I love these. These come out September 13th, I believe. Stay. This is one, gosh, so this is the Divine palette by Kat Von D. This is staying because I live in Baltimore. I love Divine, and the names of these, we've got Baltimore Waters, Filthy, Pink Flamingos, Female Trouble. I love John Waters. Love John Waters. So even though this is cracked, this is gone, I don't even use this palette ever, but I can't let it go. And then this is something that is going to take time, but I need to get rid of most of this. And just, I would love to put more single shadows in here. I really would. But most of this is probably going to go at some point. You know what? Why not now? Why not now? Look, we've got all these MAC colors I never use. So you know what? Let's go ahead and just get rid of them. No, I'm not getting rid of them because I don't have a place to put them, to give them to friends. But let's just say most of this is going. I do have over here some JD Glow, which I'm not purchasing from them again. I'm not a fan of the brand. I love the quality of these shadows, but I will not be purchasing from them again for reasons. If you know, you know. But everything else is going to be able to go because it's all MAC and I don't use it anymore. So pretty much from here over, this is all going to go. You guys, I need a hug. I've mentioned this before, but doing declutters, I am literally just like standing in one place talking for well over an hour, and I am just pouring off sweat. So if I look sweaty and ragged, it's because I am. 100, so 60 is not even that bad, considering that like makeup is something that I do and it's the only collection that I have, but still. I wound up keeping 43 of those 60, which means I'm getting rid of 18 palettes. It doesn't sound like a lot, but like this probably weighs 15 pounds at least, and that's 15 pounds out of my collection. And I had just those 2 drawers for my whole collection, and now I can see it all and I can move it around and I can play with it and know it's there and really get more use out of it. So I'm pretty excited about that, to be honest, and like knowing that these will go to a good home. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these were hard for me to get rid of. They really were. Even now, like I'm looking in the bin and second guessing myself, and I need to not do that. So yeah, these will go to a better home. These will go to a better home. So that's actually kind of a big chunk, and I think this might be the last of my declutter series. And the reason I'm saying that is because everything else that I have, lip glosses, lip pencils, eye pencils, foundation, all of those things, I don't have many of. I have, you know, a handful of foundations, maybe 9 or 10. I have, you know, a handful of lip pencils, a handful of eye pencils, a handful of lip glosses. Like, I don't have a ton. I actually have more than a handful of lip glosses, but I maybe have like 15 or something like that. So decluttering it would just not be worthy of a video. Maybe if you guys really want it, let me know down below and maybe I can put those all into one final declutter. But it wouldn't be worth it for me to do a whole video on foundation declutters or something like that. And like powders, face powders, I have 2. But let me know what you'd like to see, and I'm here for you. We're in this together. I am so sweaty and now I need to get ready for work. So I am going to stop the video here, but I hope you enjoyed this. I'm really excited at the progress I made. Some of these, again, will be for sale on my Mercari page. Some of them, most of this is going to family and friends though, if I'm being honest, because it's either very used or it was given to me in PR and I don't sell anything that I received in PR. So if you liked this video, I would love if you'd give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up for how long I was standing on my feet and how just exhausted I am now. You all can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Those are all GlitterFallout. And as always and forever, you are super freaking rock stars, and I love you so much with my whole heart. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.